Hey, it's Kamori, and today we're going to talk about how to become a convention panelist. With the exception of industry panels or panels that are presented by guests of the convention, most panels at convention are fan-submitted and just run by passionate fans who really like a particular subject and want to share it with the rest of the convention. So the way to apply for a panelist position is most conventions have it through their website. They will post a link to some sort of form that you can fill out that has all of the information on it. And one thing to keep in mind is that because they receive so many applications for programming, usually the cutoff date for submission is months and months before the actual convention itself. I want to say that Otakon is currently accepting submissions if that's a convention you go to, and I believe their cutoff is April 7th, and the convention isn't until like the July-August time. And I've seen conventions where they have their cutoff even further beyond than that. They'll take panelist submissions 6 months before the actual event. So if you are planning on presenting something and want to submit your idea to a convention, definitely follow that convention on social media, because they'll usually post it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever social media they are prefer to use, and they'll also put it on their website. So regularly, months before the convention itself, check their website and see if they have their form up. And when it comes time to actually submit, it usually requires your information, and they'll usually have like one lead panelist and then they'll put co-panelists. So you don't have to be up there by yourself. You can usually have some friends there with you, though they may specify one person as the lead panelist to be the main point of contact in case anything comes up with the panel or anything gets changed schedule-wise. So along with that, they will also ask to have a description of your panel where you tell them a little bit about what it is you want to present and a title. Now, a lot of conventions will actually use this as their little blurb in the guidebook app or in the actual printed out programming sheet. So when you're submitting your information, you want it to be very professional, because that is what other people are going to be reading when they decide whether or not they want to go to your panel. So don't be like, well, we're going to talk about whatever subject, because then that's what's going to be printed. So one thing to keep in mind. Every convention's a little bit different. They may ask for more information than that. They may ask for the little blurb about the panel and then have a second section where you talk about why you think your panel should be chosen above the other panels that are being submitted. So if you want to increase your chances of your panel being chosen, here's a couple tips to help you with that. And the first is to have something unique. And now there are a ton of, I'm going to be using cosplay since that's what my personal background is from, but you can use this to apply to really any other subject you want to be a panelist for. So if you are submitting a Cosplay 101 panel, chances are a lot of other people are going to be submitting that same idea, so it's less likely to be chosen simply because there's going to be so many panels on that same subject submitted at the same time. So you want something a little bit off the beaten path, but still something that people will be interested in. You can also try and tailor your submission to current events. So if, say, a video game is having a big 20-year anniversary and you are doing a panel about that video game, you're more likely to be selected because it's something that is big and in people's minds. Some conventions also have a theme, so they'll be like, this year's theme is the beach. And then if you have a panel that fits in that theme, it has a greater chance of being chosen because it goes along with the theme of the convention and they're trying to gear things towards that particular theme. Once you have all your information submitted, I should also mention that if you are submitting your friends, make sure your friends know that you're submitting them and make sure they're okay with being a panelist before you just put them into the slot. But once you have all your information in, they will probably ask you if your panel is 18 plus or not, and also if there are any requirements that you need for hosting your panel. So if you need a special lighting, special plug, and they'll also mention Most cons have pretty much any of the panel rooms are set up to have some sort of projector so you can put some sort of PowerPoint presentation together. But just read that area and make sure there isn't anything that you need to specify for your particular panel. And then once everything has been filled out, go through and make sure that you have filled in everything correctly. My friends like to tease me because one year I did submit a intro to sewing panel and I wasn't paying attention and accidentally submitted it as an 18+ panel. Needless to say, it didn't get chosen. So read your thing and make sure that you are in the right age range for your group or for what your panel is about, and make sure all the contact information is correct so that they can contact you with whether or not you got accepted, and just generally make sure you got everything all squared away before you hit the submit button. And from then there really isn't much you do besides wait and see whether or not you have been chosen. If you have been chosen, then you're gonna go and do all your preparation, but we will save that for another video. There'll be another topic on how to prepare for your panel. One thing that I should also mention is that you want to make sure that you are actually interested in the topic and approach it in a professional way, because you are going to be presenting this panel to the rest of the community, and you want to make sure you're not doing it just for... Because a lot of conventions will have the option of either fully reimbursing the badge of a panelist, or they will have a partial amount of the badge refunded based on the hour amount of programming you do. So while it can be a great way to decrease the cost of a con and to get your badge reimbursed, that's not the only reason for doing it. So don't be one of the... Because we've all seen those, or we've all been to cons where we have that panelist who really doesn't want to be there and they're just there for the free badge. Don't be that panelist, because usually how your performance is of your panel gets recorded by the con, and that decreases your chances of coming back at a later convention. So you want to be on the good side of the panelist ops, and you also want to make sure that you communicate with them if for whatever reason you are unable to present your panel. Let them know as soon as you know that you are unable to attend the convention. That way, I'm sure there's some panels on the waiting list, that way they can move one of the waiting list panels up to an actual slot, and it just makes everything easier for everyone involved. So that was a little bit in an intro into how to become a panelist at a convention. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to see part 2 of how to prepare for a panel, let me know in the comments below. If there are any other suggestions for any topics you'd like to see, let me know there as well. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.